Boa tarde. Hey y'all. It's been a minute. How you doing? Happy Friday. My background is a lot different than usual. I am in my apartment in Portugal. Yay. So you'll see like a little weird streak because I have one solid piece of furniture. Actually, another arrived today, but it is not assembled. I just called the guy to come and put it together for me because that's the kind of life I live now. But nevertheless, I am here. It is evening for me. It is 9:05 p.m. and it's about 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central. So I'm glad for y'all that are here and rocking today with us. If you're live, please say hello. Let me know that you're there. And then for those who are going to catch the replay, drop me a note. Let me know how you are doing on this fine Friday. Hey, June. June, I'm so excited. I got to meet June, the June, in person last week. We bumped into each other at the mall. And June is going to be a speaker at our Move to Portugal Summit. So that is happening in November. And I will also drop the link to that because it is summit season, y'all. We are talking about summits, and most importantly, we are talking about freedom. So for those of you who are interested in being free, because that is the currency of choice, you are in the right place. So before I bring on our guests, I am, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Krishan Wright. I'm the founder of Blaxit Global and the host of the Blaxit Global podcast. Blaxit Global exists to empower and inspire members of the African diaspora to pursue a life abroad. So if that is of interest to you, you are in the right place. Listen to the podcast. I dropped a bonus episode on Monday. It's a 2-hour bonus episode. I always drop one, and so it is there for y'all. And yeah, you will look forward to season 6 airing in January of 2024, coming live from Portugal. So let's see who else is here. Mocha Mosaic. Hey. How you doing, girlfriend? Hey, partner in crime, our Black Utopia. Thank you. I got dolled up because, we talking free tonight. So we talking freedom tonight, afternoon, get my time zones together. It's a work in progress, y'all. It's a work in progress. But I am excited to have on these two phenomenal women. You have seen them on the internets, on the socials. You've seen them on this platform. You've actually also heard them on the Blaxit Global podcast, if you're an avid listener. So these dynamic women have gotten together and formulated the Exodus Summit. It's in its 4th iteration, and we are going to be talking about freedom. We are going to be talking about time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom. So, and for who? Black women. Yes. So with that, I am going to bring up Stephanie Perry and Roshida Dowe. Hey, ladies.
Hi, Krishan. We're so excited to be here again.
Yes, very excited.
Yes. And I'm so excited. And we're talking about your theme for the summit this year, which I'm also a speaker. Yay. So thank you so much for the invite. But we're talking about location, time, and financial freedom for Black women. And starting it off, we realized that we are having this conversation with all three of us being in 3 different countries. So, Stephanie, you're joining us from?
I'm in your favorite place, Costa Rica. Okay, Krishan can't stand Costa Rica, y'all. I'm in San Jose, Costa Rica. Here to get myself some residency, right? Here to become a local.
Yes. I won't call it Costa Rica since you're there today. So And then Roshida, you are normally in CDMX, and where are you?
Normally in Mexico City, but today I am in my best friend's basement in Vancouver Island in Canada.
Ooh, nice, nice, nice. I've not made
Yes.
it to Vancouver, but yay, awesome, awesome. And I, as y'all know, I am coming to you now from Lisbon, Portugal, on my one solid piece of furniture.
What is the one piece you have already?
Hmm?
Prashant, what is the one piece you already have?
This sofa, that sofa bed
Okay.
that I
All right.
sit and sleep on.
All right. When I moved in, it was 2 air mattresses because when I moved into Mexico City, you couldn't buy furniture because of the pandemic.
Oh
My
my
second
God.
time I moved there. And so I couldn't Walmart wouldn't let me buy a folding chair. So I was on 2 air mattresses for months. One was a couch and one was a bed, 2 air mattresses.
Oh my gosh.
And
Wow.
not that high kind, not that fancy high kind, that these knees don't work the way they used to. Get down on the flow air mattress.
Oh, okay. Okay. Drop it
Listen,
low,
yes, I know your life. I know this story. Yes.
That's right. Yeah, right. So we think of moving abroad and we think of just getting there, but like there's a whole lot. It takes a whole lot for you to be, your home doesn't just magically appear. You got to
No,
make a home from scratch for the
literally.
first
And
time.
it's step by step, brick by brick. Actually, I was taking a nap before our live, and then I got my second piece of furniture delivered. It was a desk that I ordered the other day that I thought was arriving next week, and they just came knocking on the door. I was like, "Here it is, girl." So,
All right, pleasant surprises.
this I won't be on Bailey's crate. I'll using that as a makeshift desk. I'll have like a real desk, So that's the joy and the part of location freedom is that you make a way out of no way.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And got all these people in the chat that want to say hello. Hey, Vicky. Vicky's in the house. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, Professor LCH, making a home from scratch is real. Yes. And at least see, they were fortunate and blessed to have a furnished apartment, which is now few and far between these days.
Halisa, y'all can go buy some pots and pans. You do know that, right? They don't have to be delivered.
Let's talk about pots and pans and the whole move abroad thing. I have my own horror story to share much later about the movers related to my move. But there was one box in particular that was missing that had my laptop in it, and it had some pots and pans that were from my mother. And that's the one thing that didn't get delivered. So I notified them. It was the only box that looked the way it did. It was a black tote with a yellow top. They found it. Took forever to send it out. They said they were sending it out last week. Gave me the tracking, and I got up on Monday, and my friend was like, "Oh, it looks like it was delivered to your mother's house." And I'm like, "Oh, can you send me a picture so I can tell her what door?" Sends the picture. I'm like, "That's not my mother's house." We don't know where my pots and pans and laptop are. They are still MIA 5 days later. And, trying to deal with that, whole shenanigans. But yes, y'all can get some pots and pans. Or if you find mine floating around Pensacola, Florida, you can drop them off at my mom's house.
All right now. All
right. So let's get into this. So I'm curious, out of the 3 freedoms, we talk about the importance of freedom for Black women. Well, actually, let me back up a second. Why do we feel so strongly that for Black women, it is our season and our moment to focus on freedom?
I think every moment has been our moment to focus on freedom. We just haven't allowed ourselves to do it. Right? Like this doesn't feel like a focus on freedom to me as much as like gaining a freedom from permission, right? Like giving ourselves permission to do the thing that our grandmothers wanted to do and they couldn't do, you know, our aunties wanted to do and they couldn't do. Giving ourselves permission to do the thing that everybody else is doing, but we've been told we can't do.
That's right.
Right? Like we know what freedom looks like. We see it. We've just been told it's inaccessible to us because, you know, mules and all that.
Yeah, beast of burden. And so like, why do we have to be the ones that toil all the time, miss the moment, wish, coulda, shoulda, woulda, and when freedom can be ours?
Yeah.
Right?
Can be ours. Yes.
I think that we're also getting pushed, like Black women are getting pushed to the edge, right? We're on a cliff. And so there is a new focus for us on freedom, because there are so many people vocally saying that they don't want us to be free, right? They don't want us to live. They don't want us to thrive. They don't want us to have a say in our lives, from employers to the government to whoever, right? And so we do feel like, you know what, if you're going to push us this far, instead of where we would normally have tried to make a way, we're just going to opt out. I reject everything you're offering me. Okay, thank you, goodbye.
Do you think, like, because Exodus Summit started, the first one in 2020, do you think that the pandemic and all of that happened in 2020, you know, civil unrest, highly publicized murders of Black people, served as a catalyst and an awakening for Black women and Black men, but Black women to say, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore?
Absolutely. I think so. I think that so one thing the pandemic did is it gave us time to sit, right? And like look at things, sit and look at our lives, look back in a way that we just don't get. The way our work situations are set up, we don't have time to sit and think about things and sit and look at things and sit and even watch and take in information. So during the pandemic, we had some extra time to sit and take in some information and see what was happening and think about some things. And so I think that Exodus Summit didn't happen because of the pandemic, but Exodus Summit did get, it was very good timing for some women because of the pandemic and because of 2020, because of 2020.
I think it also, I'm not sure we needed this reminder, but it was a stark reminder that no one's coming to save us. And that, like, these companies gonna post these black squares and then be about their business and discriminate against you at work. And your company just posted a black square, but they're still not gonna give you a raise, right? They're still not gonna pay you what your coworker is getting paid, right? They're still not gonna pay you what your coworker is getting paid. They're still not gonna promote you to the position you deserve. So what are we sitting here doing this for, right? Like, if in the face of all that unrest, nothing changed. No. Right?
That's right.
What are we waiting for? What is I know people who have the approach of like, you know, my family built this country, we need to stay and fight. And I'm like, who are we fighting? And for what? And what do we get at the end? If you win the fight, what do you win? Right?
Same thing you had before.
If you lose the fight, you're probably dead, right? Like I don't know. Like I'm not saying that is not a valid approach. It is. It's just not the approach for me. And it's not an approach for a lot of the women I know because we're tired, right?
Yeah. So, I think we're overworked, over-policed, micromanaged, overlooked, over it. Is really what it amounts to. Over it, right? And so what I love about the summit and what I love about the path that many of us are on, whether that timeline is like me, it was a 7-year journey from, 2016 to today. Or if that's somebody who is 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 days away, you have the opportunity to change your life. And really the thing that has been most transformative to me in the past 3 years since creating Blaxit Global was talking to women like yourselves. And as I'm having these conversations, it's also fortifying me, right? As I was going on the journey and like okay, taking stock of, you know, what are the mindset shifts that I have to make? Because the first battle is really in your mind. And Cheetah, you touched on that when you said giving ourselves permission. You know, that is something that we haven't had the time to be afforded. And then also when we are given permission, some of us don't even know permission to do what.
Right.
Right? Permission to do what? So when you know, and you see it, I mean, you guys have Exodus Summit Facebook group, you have 11,000 women in it, you've done meetups and things like that. Sometimes, and you see it in the questions that people ask, oh gosh, I want to get out of this country. Where should I go? Like, not even a clue. It's like 195 countries. Y'all tell me where. It's like not even having the ability to decide and say, hey, I want a place that has, you know, that's walkable or tropical or whatever. Like that whole decision tree isn't there because that's just something that hasn't even maybe gotten to that level of consciousness.
No. And that decision tree, right? Like even if people who are immediately feeling the push to go, right? Even if they had a decision tree, it wouldn't be what they really wanted. It would just be some things that they heard somebody else say are important, right? I want to go to, like, my favorite, least favorite is I want to go to a Black country, right? I want to go to a Black place. Is that really, is this really going to fit your needs? Or is this what somebody told you you should want? You shouldn't want to go to Europe. You shouldn't want to go to Latin America. You shouldn't want to go to, right. You should only want to go to a country in Africa because somebody else told you. So that decision tree, even in the beginning, may not be your real decision tree. It's going to take you some time. It's going to take you some research, some checking out, some things, some scouting to figure out what it is that you really want and need. You might get to a place that fits what other people tell you you want, and you get there and you're going to hate it. You might hate it. So that's why you're coming to Exodus Summit to help us work on this, because a lot of people their first inclination is to pick a place that someone else told them they should go. Right. I'm sure you hear this. You probably hear, now that you're in Portugal, you probably get to meet people who are in Portugal and they say, I'm here because of you. Right. And I'm like, thanks for that. But like, what did you need? I'm in a place that fits me, but what did you need? And is this what is really in your best interest?
Oh, and yeah,
I see this a lot in the groups. People are like, oh, I moved to this place, like in the Merida group, you know, sometimes it's like, oh, I moved here, but this ain't what y'all said it was. And I'm like, is it not what they said it was to them, or is it not what they said it was to you? Because these people, now, my mama lives there. I think it's a terrible place. Very lovely people, very lovely people, but I couldn't live there, right? So all the people saying they love it, it's beautiful, it's a great place. I'm like, I hear you, but we don't have the same scale. We're not looking for the same things.
Yeah.
Right. That doesn't mean you're wrong. You're right to love the place that I'm never going to love. That's okay. But when you don't come into this journey knowing what you want, it's easy to get swayed by other people speaking loudly.
That's right.
Very true. Very true. You have to see for yourself. I mean, look, I have the podcast. I've had conversations with over 50 people on the show. And the first country I scouted really was New Zealand. But once I had to pivot, once I had a conversation with my daughter and she felt that New Zealand was too far and there were other challenges with New Zealand. And I said, okay, you know what? I'm open. There's a whole world. Let me look at different countries. And the first one that popped up was Costa Rica. That was my first choice. I'm like, oh, it's close. You know, I can get back to the States, you know, within, 5 hours, what have you. And went there. And for me, it just wasn't for me. Now, if I had gone on holiday maybe I would have had a different experience. If I had gone to a different part of the country, perhaps I would have had a different experience. But for me, with what I needed to do, I kept encountering too many challenges that felt like it was going to be too much of a hurdle. But that didn't make it wrong for anybody else who does live there or want to live there. I know more than enough people who have moved there since, or who, like Stephanie, are there now. And it doesn't make one right and one wrong. It means that we're all as different as our DNA. Our lived experiences are different. Our wants and needs are different. And so you have to put, if you want to have, I think, the best chance of having a successful move, you want to do the due diligence to take time and check it out for yourself.
That's right. That's right. The too many challenges thing is something that also people overlook because they're used to having a life of challenges and don't know that you could have more ease. You could have more ease in a place. Mexico is so easy. Everything there just works. Right? If it doesn't just work, somebody will work it for you. Right? Here, getting in Costa Rica, going from town to city to town to city to beach is a challenge. In Mexico, it's just a bus ride. You sit on the bus, the seat feels a lot like this sofa, right? There's a little entertainment center in the back, right? So the idea of going to a place with fewer challenges should be at the top of everyone's list. But we don't recognize the challenges that we have to live with in the U.S. because we have, we're blind to them. We're nose blind, right? To the challenges we have to live with. So we don't know the challenges that we could be checking off of the list. Healthcare is my favorite one, right? The challenge of healthcare in the U.S., you can check that off your list in another country. But we don't know that. I really get upset when people move to another place that is even as challenging or even more challenging than where you came from. You can have it easy. It's okay to live easy.
Oh yeah, I like easy. I mean, it's been 12 days, but like literally when they delivered the box, I was like, oh, TaskRabbit, somebody need to put this together because them days of Krishan taking the screwdriver and assembling furniture and lugging shit, no, that's over.
Over.
You know, doing my own hair all the time. I'm like, oh, wait, who's doing this today? Because I got something going on. Just things that I can take off my plate has been a gift. And that would not have come had it not been for financial freedom. Right. And so I guess that's a good time to pivot to that. So Roshida, when you stepped away from your career and you took which was initially a career sabbatical that turned into funtirement. You made a lot of, financial decisions that kind of set you up for the, I guess, unveiling or unfolding to say, hey, wait a minute, I don't have to go back to this. So what do you think that in this now, I think you've been 5 years now?
I'm 5 years now, yep.
Wow, 5 years. Now, when you were at the beginning of this, could you see yourself 5 years out and saying like you'd still be financially okay? I am curious about that one.
No, girl, what? Like most people who have been financially insecure and worked their way out of financial insecurity, not working in my brain meant that I was going to be financially insecure again. Right? Like, as much as I tell people to do the math, because I wouldn't have been able to take a career break without actually doing the math. When I did the math, I was like, I have enough money for a year. I can do this for a year. I might have had enough money, like with a good plan, I might have had enough money for 20 years. In fact, at that point, knowing how much I spent in a year, I did. But knowing the amount of money available to you and believing in the amount of money you have available to you are different things. I spent my whole career break being cheap. because I was like, what if I run out of money? What if when my break is over, I don't get a job right away? I need to have money. I told you, I did, like, it was like I spent the amount of money I had at the time, I probably spent 1/20th of it. And I was still like, for the year, and I was still like, but I can't spend any more than that. And so I'm dragging my bags along when there would have been an easier way. I could have paid someone to take them for me, or I could have taken a easier transportation method, but it would have cost more, because not working in most of our minds means that poverty is around the corner, right? And so fighting that, I think, has been one of the biggest challenges for me, feeling that, like, knowing that I'm financially independent versus feeling like I'm financially independent has been a huge challenge for me, because yeah, I've been dumb with money. I've been smart with money. And even though I know I'm smart with money, it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe that even after I do the math and I can see it played out, I could really stop working. Because who stops working before they're 40? Right? Who? I didn't know anyone who did. And so it was like, well, you're supposed to have a job. So go get a job. And then I realized I hated jobs, so I couldn't do that. So something else, please. Right?
Yeah. Financial independence and financial freedom are two different things, right?
Yeah.
You can be financially independent, but still not recognize that you're financially free. There's a bridge. There's something you have to bridge that gap.
Yes.
Yeah. So how do you do it? Like, how is it it's not a switch that you flip. So is there like steps that you have to take? It's like mental shifts. Are there dollar figures? Because, you know, for everyone, I would imagine it's different. Some people have this, and now I'll just use this analogy, you know, with America, every time you get somewhere, like the yardstick keeps moving, right? So you can say, oh, if I make, you know, 30,000, you know, I'll feel good, or 50,000, 100,000. If I have $500,000, I'll feel right. And then you get to these things and the yardstick keeps moving. So is it a number? Is it a feeling? What is it?
If you don't feel financially secure, there's no number, which is why Mr. Amazon is still out there working people to death. Right? Because there's no number, no amount of money that's going to make him feel secure. It's why Mr. Musk is, I can't believe I said Mr. Why he continues to be a terrible person. And them Tesla factories, they're out there calling people monkeys and making them work to death. Right? Like, that's why. Because in America, there is no such thing as enough money. Right?
Yes.
And I think if I was still in America, I would be working. Whether I needed the money or not, I would be working. Because if you're not a housewife as a woman or a worker, what are you doing? What are you doing? Right? Maybe I could be like a housewife who's married to myself. Right? Like I think that's the only role I could have played. And there's no switch to flip. It really is, for me, most of my assets are invested in the stock market. So when the stock market is doing well, I'm like, yes, I can ride this out forever. Yes, yes, yes. A little bit of contraction in the market, and I'm like, do I need a part-time job? But like, I have to remind myself that I don't, right? That the market is going to do what the market does, and I'm still okay, right? And it's weird. Now I'm gonna acknowledge a contradiction here. Like, I am anti-capitalism, while also relying on a big function of capitalism, right, in order to fund my retirement.
Yeah.
So like, I'm anti-capitalism, but I haven't stepped outside of that model because it's almost impossible to.
Yeah.
Like,
it's impossible.
So yeah, but there's no switch to flip. You just gotta do the work every day and tell yourself it's enough, it's enough, it's enough. Otherwise, it won't be enough.
So you did say, so that would not have been your approach if you were still in the U.S. Leave the country. Leaving the country is the bridge. That is the bridge. The bridge from the financial independence to actually feeling financially free. It very well might be leaving the country. It might be leaving the United States.
I think there's something about going to places that have less corporate structures. Like everything isn't a Dunkin' Donuts or a Baskin Robbins, right? And so the businesses run in a different way, right? Like when I was in Ecuador, it was a bunch of mom and pop shops, right? Everywhere. And they were open when they wanted to be open, and they were closed when they wanted to be closed. And you'd see around the world, I've seen those like, oh no, dog, we closed today. Or like, I had to go home. You know, Dunkin' Donuts down with a note that says I got to go home. Karen gonna be on the Twitter talking about I tried to get.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you ain't got because we ain't here.
People feel like they're owed labor, right? People in America feel like they are which is why when we were supposed to shut down for the pandemic, we ain't shut down. Because these people are like, who's going to serve me food?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
Who? Why isn't someone risking their life so I can get, a Big Mac?
Because they're essential workers. You know, America's good for a slogan and a rebrand.
And then a year and a half later, it was, but why do they need to get paid more money?
Yeah.
$15 an hour. Why do they
cannot believe that. Who do they think they are?
Yeah.
I'm working at blah, 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 and I get paid less. Well, baby, get your workers together.
That's your job's fault. That's right.
Yeah.
What if you didn't come in today? What if none of y'all came in today? Right? Are them auto workers going on strike? Is that what I hear? Yes.
Ooh, baby.
Love to see it.
Yeah.
Get together. The big three, get together. Show them.
Yeah, because that's what it is. We have to realize we have the power. And when you leave the US and you see, like all these countries that they strike, and they'll plan to strike. They're like, yo, we strike on Wednesday because you know what? We need to get paid more. They tell everybody, yo, you need this. Might not get it today because we're on strike. United States, we got all this system going, and people complaining about their jobs, bitching and moaning about various things, but they get up and do it again. Roe v. Wade, got overturned. What are women? 51% of the population. Everybody went back to work. Nobody protested. Nobody was out there saying, yo, we ain't working until you overturn this shit. Like, we have ovaries, we have uteruses. We want control of the domain of our own bodies. None. Why? Because America keeps you tied to systems. If you don't have that job, can't pay for that roof over your head, you ain't gonna have health insurance, not gonna
can't go to the doctor.
Can't go to the doctor, kids ain't gonna eat, you're not gonna go to college. So you're just going through the whole list of what's gonna be taken away from you. And so in that, it diminishes your power.
Also, in that realm, the women most likely to vocally challenge this are the ones most likely to get shot. So you know what I'm gonna be? I'm gonna be at home because let somebody else risk their life. So I was walking my niece to school this morning, and she said something about her mom being at like protests of people who got arrested, but her mom never getting arrested. And she said, she's 10, she's 11, 12, something. She said, my mom must just be lucky. And I was like, your mom is a white. I didn't say it, but I was like, your mom's a white woman. Like, I bet you those other people who got arrested were not white women.
Yeah.
Like, and not, you know what I mean? Like, that's my best friend. I'm not disparaging her. I'm just saying, like, no, your mom didn't get arrested at protests.
No.
And you don't, like, you can't put together the why on that yet. But I put that together real quick. I was like, lucky. I'm gonna leave. I'm not gonna say nothing else. We're not getting into world politics today. But no, I'm not getting shot so someone else can have an abortion. I'm just gonna go to another country.
Just leave.
I'm going to, if any of the girls in my family need it, come see Auntie Sheeta in Mexico. Come.
There you go. I've already told my kids. I was like, I told my daughter, hey, I'll be in Portugal because this ain't it. America ain't it. There's a level of, this has been 12 days and I've had my challenges, along the way. It's definitely, there's no Wakanda, there's no utopia that exists. But do I feel safer? 100%. Am I happier? Yes. Is it way more affordable? Absolutely. I've cut my expenses probably by 50 to 60%. And it's just this ease of living and less anxiety. And I've said this to people in my group because we have 13 members that have moved here now since.
Wow. Yeah. Go, y'all.
Sunday of this batch, and we're having a big party in October to celebrate. So yeah, we have 13, and so one went for he and his husband went for his residency today. The other two that came in March, her and her husband have their residency. Their cards came the other day. And then we have a family of 4 that's going next week for theirs, and then myself and Marguerite, who's not in the comments today, we're going in November. So it's a lot of people. And what we realize is like getting here, right? When you're not scouting, when you're not coming on holiday, but you're actually living here and interacting with systems and doing all the things, my nervous system said, thank you.
Yeah.
My nervous system said, thank you. It's like the anxiety that I felt, especially financial anxiety and insecurity, just the rumination. So I'm an introvert, you know, spent a lot of time in my head, and it was not doing, it was helping to, staying in America was eroding my mental state. It wasn't contributing to the beautiful unfolding that I now feel in my life. And also just discovering new aspects of myself, even though I've been, you know, getting my apartment together and trying to diminish the echo with more things coming in the house. I've been in these streets. Okay. I was out to brunch with my member that came and an Instagram follower. We went to the outdoor movies, like 5 of us from Blaxit Passport the other night. We're going to a concert together on Thursday to see Bonnie Tyler. Like, we are out in these streets, okay?
Really outside.
We outside.
So, okay. All right. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So what does that feel like? You said that your nervous system is improving. What does it feel like? What's happening?
Being around other people and not being anxious. So where I live is I've seen 2 foreigners. So when I step out the door, my Portuguese needs to be like, okay, what do I say? Right? It can't be like, oh, I can say hi and all that stuff. Nope. I have to like really just be able to say what I can say or say what I can't say. And being in crowds, you know, that outdoor theater, you know, there was a lot of people, you know, it's a tourist area in downtown Lisbon, and no worries about, oh, if something happens in a crowd, where's the closest exit? Or if I hear a loud noise, oh my God, is somebody shooting? Or if I see the police, you know, having that agita in my stomach. And so there's just this, this level of calm, you know, my shoulders are down. I don't feel tense and on guard all the time. And I sleep a lot. I nap all the time. I have my siestas.
Good.
Your body's getting what you didn't know you needed, right?
Yes.
You didn't know you needed that much sleep.
No.
You were that sleep deprived. Your body is listen, your body's like, oh, we ain't got to go outside. Although you do got to go outside. You've been outside a lot. You know, your body's like, this time while we're on our one sofa bed, right? Like, let's get some rest. Yes.
And then the dog, right? Like I have her and I brought her here, and that was, you know, anxiety. You know, it's like, oh, is she gonna be okay? She had to fly under in cargo. And so it was a 7-hour flight, got her here. And, you know, we stayed the first couple days in the apartment just to let her get acclimated. And now this doggy want to be in the street all the damn time. Like, she be at the door. I'm like, you just went outside. no, 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 no. I know you don't have to go to the bathroom. You just
Mhm.
want to be out in these streets.
Want
So
to see
she's
what's going on.
on these long walks, and also because of her, I meet a lot of people. There's a lot of dogs, so I'm constantly meeting people, and then I'm hearing it's improved my Portuguese tremendously because they'll ask me if she's a girl or a boy, things like that, and I'm starting to hear certain keywords. I can't like
Awesome.
fully understand the context, but it's definitely helped, and I don't feel even anxious about speaking.
Good.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Dogs are wonderful, like
Mhm.
icebreakers. Dogs and kids. They're really helpful.
That's awesome.
For sure, for sure, for sure. So we talked about time freedom, talked about financial freedom, location freedom.
Yeah.
So Stephanie, you've been on this journey, house sitting, different parts of the world, and now you're planting yourself for
Oh,
roots a little bit.
yeah. So part of like location freedom is being able to pick your place where you're going to stay. So a lot of times we think of location freedom as the freedom to be a nomad and bop around. And I've done it. We've done it. It's nice. I recommend it. But also the location freedom allows me to just be wherever. As long I only need a few things to be able to make the money I need to live. I
Mm.
need reliable internet and electricity, right? I need a little bit of quiet, which is why I'm wearing my earbuds because it was raining a little bit and you could hear the rain on the metal roof, right?
Yeah.
I need a little bit of quiet. I need good internet, right? I only need a few things and I can make money anywhere in the world. Enough, make the money I need to live anywhere in the world. And that's wonderful. It really does open up the world to me. The U.S. passport for now is a it's a key to the world, right? It's the world is ours with that US passport. And
Hmm.
we might as well use it and see while it's worth anything, use it and see some places and get to some things. So I spent probably since 2015. So I left the US for the first extended career break in 2015. And so since 2015, I've been location independent, right? I've been free to be wherever I could get a house sit or wherever I could get an Airbnb or a hotel room. But yeah, so I'm going to make Costa Rica a home because I miss having some stuff. I really miss having some stuff. Not all the stuff. I don't want to recreate my life in the U.S. in here in Costa Rica. I don't want to have a lot of stuff. I don't want to. I want to still be able to pick up and move when I can, when I want. But I miss like having stuff on the walls, my stuff on the walls. Right, this place had an ugly thing, and I took it down. I almost went and bought something to replace it. Right, I want my own stuff, and so I want a place where I can call home and still be able to see the world from Costa Rica. I can still visit
Hmm.
Central, South America, North America, the Caribbean with ease. So it's nice to be still location free, right? But just pick a place to be, to have things, have forks and stuff I like.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I really appreciate, being able to, especially once I get my residency in in Portugal, the EU opens up. There's
Yep.
all of those countries that you can see, and
Hmm.
when you think about, moving abroad, where you start doesn't necessarily mean where you finish.
That's right.
And when you're able to say, hey, I want to either slow travel, take long stints, or what used to be reserved for a week that you get off work, or asking permission to have 2 days off, or whatever that is, you don't have to necessarily say, oh, you know what, this second week in June, I'm going to go. It's like I can go midweek if I want to go somewhere,
Right.
right? It doesn't
That's right.
have to be in the traditional sense of where we've existed to date, right? And
Mhm.
Hmm.
so with that, I know, Sheeta, you've talked about on your platform looking at a second country. And so where are you in that process of location freedom?
I'm not. I don't like paperwork. So
Yeah.
Once was enough?
once was enough. I would like, So I'm going to spend a month in South Africa in December, maybe more, maybe probably like 3 months, with using that as a base to travel around. I just don't know that I need to get residency anywhere else. Right. And so I'm kind of like, I also love where I do have residency. I have residency in Mexico. I love living there. If I stopped living there, then that might be the time when I tried to get more. I see people out here collecting residency and trying to get citizenship, like them eternity, whatever those rings, they're out there trying to get them. And I'm like, what you gonna do when you collect all these, right? Like, find you a good one that gets you what you want, and then maybe chill. But listen, I went to England earlier this year with all the paperwork I needed to get my passport there. And eventually I was like, what's the British passport going to do for me that the US doesn't?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
No, I ain't doing this.
Wow.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So I think there are other places I want to spend significant amounts of time, like South Africa, but is 90 days in a row enough for me in South Africa? For now, yeah, it is. So I'm good.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of paperwork, Oof. I got stacks on stacks. I think I had to buy ink from a printer and paper when all was said and done. When I went to DC with my son, I was like, here you go. Here's my life. Now let me.
Yes. I mean, in my coaching business, I see women who are trying to get residency in countries they've never visited before. And I'm like, I'm not saying that's a bad way to do it, but you don't even know if you want this, right? You don't even know if you want this. Like, maybe try that before you commit all the way. And it's not a big deal if you ever want to get rid of it. Yes, you can get rid of it, but like, why are you getting the residency besides someone else said they were doing it, right? If you don't know, and if you've never been to this country, it's a lot of work. I don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in some countries like Portugal, where they have a requirement. Once you get residency, you have to be in the country for X number of days, right? It's different. So if it's your first time being location independent, right? If this is your first experience with location freedom, don't tie yourself down too fast, right? Try some stuff. See what's interesting to you. Really, like, there's no time like the present. The world is yours. Places are changing by the day, right? Some of the places that you would want to love to go visit, in a few years we won't be able to see. I saw a woman not too long ago talking about Stonehenge and how not too many years ago you could just walk up to the stones and touch them. I never knew that. By the time I even knew what Stonehenge was, I think it was already roped off. But you could just walk up there, touch them, and be all up on the stones, right? And she said you could feel that there is a magnetic pull, and you could feel it. You could be inside of Stonehenge and feel the pull. I don't know if it was certain days of the year or what. You could feel it, right? Places are changing, and our access to things are changing, and some things are just crumbling and disappearing. Yeah. And so give yourself location freedom, is such a gift. Give it to yourself, right? Use it all, use it up, be free, be out in the world. It's really hard to go to a new place and not recreate what you already have, right? If you haven't taken some time to be free. So take some time to be free, then you can go to a new place and create a new life instead of recreating the old life. You can, it's location freedom is a freedom that is kind of like, I don't want to say fleeting, but you want to use it while you have it. I hope. I hope we'll use it while we have it.
I think that a lot of things people do are things they do because they don't know what to do with their time. When we see people move abroad, we see people who were like, to your point, want to replicate the life they've had before. They need, in so many groups, I'm like, how do y'all buy a house in Mexico? And I'm like, why do you want to?
Yeah.
You're not city specific. You don't know where you want to go. You just want to buy a house.
Yeah.
Why? But getting the residency in a bunch of different places. What? You could be napping. Krishan said, go lay down. Go lay down.
Yeah. Just lay down.
Right?
Lay down.
But I think people feel the need to like achieve, right?
Yeah.
I have achieved these things. I've been approved for these things.
Yeah.
One of someone I know is talking about moving abroad, and she's like, I need to get a job because I sold my house, have a stack of cash from the house, but I'm not going to be comfortable until I buy another house in the country I'm in. But you don't even like the city you're in. Like you really hate the city you're in. So I'm not sure you're going, like you might find another city you like in the country, but like you're stressing about using up your money before you can buy a house, where if you didn't feel the need to buy a house, you would just have a pot of money you could use to do whatever you wanted for years. You have years of money in your hand of not working. But the idea, like not having a house, is so fundamental to who she thinks she is. That the idea of not owning a home makes her uncomfortable. I'm like, you realize you've sold your house. You have the power to live anywhere you want to live at any time you want to. You can get up and move and rent, stay in, wherever you want around the world. Like you don't have one house, you have 1,000 homes.
Yes.
You have all the homes available to you if you want them, and you're uncomfortable because you don't have a home with your name on it. And I get that there's some, history there.
Yeah.
Girl, we were talking her through that. Like, baby, you got a pot of cash and you're talking about you need to find a job because you don't want to spend your money.
A job.
You don't want a job. Right? You don't want a job. You want to relax.
Yes.
But you also
can't relax because you have to have a house.
You also are looking at your life through the lens of American capitalism, through the lens of Black excellence, probably, right? Through the lens of this, there is one path. There is one path to whatever we think the reward is in life. There's one path to it, and that includes having a job that people respect, and that includes owning your own home, and only a certain size home, though, right? We don't care if you own a tiny house, and we don't care if you own a studio. We care if you own a certain size home. That there's a lot of unlearning. That's why it's really hard to go to a new place, and from what I can see, right, it's really hard to go to a new place and not recreate the stuff that you hate, unless you do some unlearning. You've got to do some unlearning. You've got to do some rejecting of some stuff. You need clarity, which comes from free time. And if you're just going from busy at work to busy at setting up this new home, too busy at starting a new business, too busy at this and that, you don't have the clarity to know what you really want and what you could do without. There's a whole lot that you can do without, including home ownership.
Oh, absolutely. And that the process of unlearning has been the most impactful. And for me, I started that before I got here. So I had stopped watching TV. 2 months before I moved here, I stopped drinking coffee because I wanted to regulate my body and just say, okay, what is it? How do I sleep? How do I move? How do I exist without the artificial stuff, juicing me up?
Yeah.
And just thinking about being here, like part of my internet package and everything came with a free TV. I turned it on one day, never turned it on again. I have this, very large apartment, and I said, okay, I need the essentials. I need a bed. I need something to eat on. I need a desk, right? So I can do the podcast and stuff. Everything else will happen in time.
That's right.
And I see beautiful places around here. I, like to look, but there's no desire to have, what was the American dream, because I gave my car up weeks ago. I drove my daughter to college, drove back, and then left her at school and drove straight to the dealership and turned in those keys. And I've been a pedestrian, the whole time now that I've been here. Took the bus the other day. I walk now 10,000 steps.
Yeah.
I've been, eating great food. And just this whole thing of detaching from, I have to have a certain, style of clothing or, place or whatever. It's like, no, I get to look at a blank slate. I get to have a blank page. I'm the author. I have the pen in my hand and I get to write this next chapter how I want to look like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. That's really scary to a lot of people, Krishan. So hats off to you for embracing that, because it's really scary to a lot of people to see that blank page.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But man, who know everything is opened up to you, right? From doing nothing forever, right? You may decide you're going to do nothing for the rest of your life, to doing something really like something that would have seemed so impossible to you before. Right. That blank page can be scary. So I'm glad that you're embracing it. Yeah.
I saw Janae from The Luxury Vagabond say, I think that buying a property is a real estate to build wealth mindset for some. And I feel like we're forgetting the lessons of the not too distant past, right? Like real estate does build wealth for some people, but it also sucks wealth out of our community when bad things happen, like there's a recession or a depression. And so a lot of our people, a lot of people think they are one lucky break away from being Bill Gates, right? They can be a billionaire if they too just luck up on the right thing. And I wish more people knew that within these confines of America, that's very unlikely, right? And reproducing the American system in other places will not make that more likely, right?
No.
Right. No. And so letting go of that like goal of building wealth for the sake of building wealth by stepping out of an environment where wealth is the only thing that really matters is really healthy and freeing.
Yeah.
It's really, really freeing to be in a place where people don't care. Right? People don't care.
Yeah.
Like, are you eating? Okay, then fine. Whatever.
Exactly. Nobody's saying, oh, is that Gucci? Is that whatever I walk out the door? Or, wondering like, oh, do you belong here? Do you live here? Like all the things that we have accepted as our condition in America. And when you give yourself the gift to leave the confines and the borders of the US to go somewhere else, wherever your heart is calling, it's an unlock. And for some who chase that wanderlust, or it's like a little thread on a dress and then you keep pulling, it's like, okay, this country, wait a minute, I feel good here, and you keep going and going and going, you're like, I want more of that feeling. It can be yours, and you just have to give yourself permission. And with that, let's pivot over to the summit.
Yes. This is the 4th year for Exodus Summit. Can you believe that?
Baby, I can believe it. I can believe it. My Lord.
It's been a breeze. What are you talking about, Roshida? It's been a breeze.
Stephanie keeps me busy. My supervisor up there in the corner keeps me occupied.
Oh, no sweat. Yeah, so Exodus Summit this year. Exodus Summit is our virtual event, our virtual conference for Black women who want to plan a sabbatical, a career break, a move abroad, nomadic life. This year's theme is location freedom, financial freedom, and time freedom for Black women. As we said, we think that the freedoms are the real goal. So yes, life in the US is pointed towards a very specific end, which is like, hopefully you can retire at 65 with enough money to live out the rest of your life. But we think that there's a different end that Black women can move towards that can open up your life, right? Can help you thrive and not just live and make it. And those things are the location freedom, financial freedom, and time freedom. And we have some amazing speakers coming in online October 6th through 9th to give Black women the tools to get there for ourselves. There's no prescription. This is not a prescription. This is not somebody coming to give you that. Like, we're not going to hand you a blueprint. Krishan's move abroad looks different from Rashida's which will look different from mine, right? But you're going to get the tools from our speakers to create what you need in your life, to find out what you need, right? Take some time and space and think about what it is that you need. And then the tools to actually get yourself there. And the tickets are at exodussummit.com. Oh, no. The tickets are using a link. Sorry. You please use Krishan's link, okay? I'm sorry. Use the link that's in the description of this video, because Krishan has been a wonderful sister in this movement, right? The movement of Black people, Black women living out their dreams, including moving abroad. Krishan is a sister in this movement. Krishan is a speaker in the summit, and Krishan's link will give her some extra dough, okay? Extra dough. So use the link that Krishan has on the screen and in the description of this video, which is a tiny URL, tinyurl.com/Exodus Summit. Genius. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that neither one of us have snatched that up. Aren't you the marketing expert?
Myself.
Aren't you the marketing pro, Krishan? Look at you doing it.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, we're super excited.
We're super excited. Exodus Summit is October 6th through 9th this year. We have amazing keynote speakers. We have a couple different ticket options. Exodus Summit is the summit for Black women who want to do something new with their life, who want to do something unconventional, who don't feel supported in their desires, or who possibly feel alone. They're sitting on a dream by themselves. They're holding on and they don't know how to make it happen. Your sisters are at Exodus Summit waiting for you. They're in these comments right now. They are here. They are ready for you with open arms, ready to hold your hand and help walk you through it. Stephanie and I will be at the summit hosting and talking to you about the help you need, and talking to our amazing speakers who are going to talk about a variety of things. Krishan, what are you talking about?
Scouting. Oh.
You got some tips for us?
7 years or 7 months or 7 weeks. So we're going to be talking about scouting.
That's right. That's right. So Krishan, we started this by telling you Krishan can't stand Costa Rica. All right. I am moving to Costa Rica. You have to know what you want. You have to know how to evaluate it, right? Not just like research it, but then like do some real evaluation of a place. Hopefully you can get yourself there and check it out for yourself. And so Krishan is coming in to help y'all so that you don't end up in Costa Rica. Okay? You don't end up.
Yes, your version of Costa Rica, whatever that is, right? It could be, some people say no to Portugal, right? They have their feelings about it. I remember I talked to a guest. That's how I wound up going to Costa Rica. My conversation with Shar initially led me to Portugal last year. And then I, now live here and I love it. And there's, but again, it's like you have to be clear on what it is that you want. Not just, oh, everybody's moving to Portugal, let me move to Portugal. Oh, everybody's moving to Mexico, I have to move to Mexico. I saw somebody move here. It's like, what do you want? You are the person that has to live that day to day, pay those bills, enjoy whatever time you have left on this floating rock. Like, this is your life. This is your beginning for some people. It's a chapter. And so, it's time to get away from the conditioning that we've had. And so it's your opportunity to craft a narrative that you're going to be proud of, right? Your legacy. We talk about legacy. We talk about generational wealth. You can change your generational tree if you're a solo person or a person with a family, just by taking the audacious, bold act of moving abroad.
That's right. It can change the entire trajectory of your life and your family's life. We see it. We've got speakers coming into the summit who have done it, right? It can change everything. If your family or your life right now is in the US is full of fear or financial or some sort of financial insecurity, if it's full of work, right? Work and job life, you can do a new thing in a new way. And one of the ways that you do that is that you learn from people who have already done it, because there's no bonus points in life for figuring things out on your own.
Mm-mm.
You don't get any bonus points for doing it all on your own.
Mm-mm.
So you come to places where people have set things up for you to learn from them, and you learn from them. And you also don't want to do things without community. You don't want to be the only one doing something. You don't want to be there's also no reward for not having community, for not having people who are walking alongside you. Some people are going to be a few steps ahead. Some people are going to be a few steps behind. Some people will be shoulder to shoulder with you. Community will take you so much further and make your experience so much more enjoyable. And these are the things that you get when you come to something. When someone says, I made a place and a time for you to come learn X, you go to that place and you learn X. You come to Exodus Summit. You come to the Move to Portugal Summit. Move to Portugal, is that exactly what it's called?
Move to Portugal.
I think, yeah. You come to Exodus Summit. You come to Move to Portugal Summit, right? You go to the Blaxit Global Passport, right? You go to the places that people have already set up so that you can learn from them instead of trying on your own. Because there is no reward. There is no bonus. There is no benefit for you taking more time and more stress and more headaches because you didn't want to ask for help. There's no benefit.
And I will say that the three of us are all coaches who use coaches, right? We believe in getting help. We're not suggesting you come to this because it benefits us, because you know what benefits me? Laying on my couch, eating plantain chips, but I'm not going to sleep for 3 days during the summit. That's not a benefit to me.
That's right.
Right? But we want you guys to get the end result of the summit, to get into action, right? We want you to get inspiration and move into action. And you can do that with the steps that you're given during the summit. But to Stephanie's point, sometimes action requires a catalyst, and sometimes that catalyst is not within you. It's not, right? It takes a coach showing you what you don't see yourself. It takes maybe an accountability buddy, a partner, to do it with you, which the summit is full of buddies. The summit is full. You're going to find your new bestie.
Indeed. The community is fantastic.
Janae's here, and she's my bestie. She knows.
That's what we do. That's what the Exodus Squad does best. Right? That's what we do best. You're going to get you an accountability buddy. You're going to get you a sister, a golden girl buddy. You're going to get her in Exodus Summit.
Yeah, because it makes all the difference, just even being here. And we were saying it the other night when we were out. It's like being here and just knowing, we have a group chat going. Oh, where'd you get this furniture? Oh, who do you call for this? It's like it's a softer landing. We're all here relatively within a couple weeks of each other. Right. Yeah. But, like you said, some people are shoulder to shoulder, some people a little bit ahead, some people are further up behind. But it's like we know that we all have had and are having a day zero. So it's like, okay, what do you need? How do you get this? And you don't get bonus points for all of that stuff, of riding the struggle bus. One of the biggest things that I could say I'm proud of with making the decision to come here is that I gave up my lifetime bus pass for the struggle bus. I was like, you can have that. Like, I'm done. I'm not riding the struggle bus anymore.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So we talk about going places to embrace ease, but that starts before you go, right? That ease starts before you get there. It can start in the planning process. Give yourself that, right? Give yourself that amount of ease. That's right. Yeah. Right. Imagine you getting to Portugal and being like, so yeah, there are people here, but I'm not going to ask them I'm not going to ask them for help. I'm not going to ask any questions. Yeah, I know people here, but I'm not going to reach out to them. I'm just going to pick my own electrician and hope it works for the best. Right. Can you imagine?
Right. Yeah. And then be miserable in my flat. Like, I don't know anybody. I don't know why I'm here. Like, and again, you hear stories sometimes of people having, and you can go somewhere and do all your due diligence and still not have a great time. But it's to say that sometimes, we create our own suffering and by recreating things that have not served us. And so, as much as I used to pride myself on being, super independent, look, I'm the first one to say, hey, I need help now. You know, like it's like, hey, this thing got delivered. I don't know where to go. What do I do? Right? Like spinning my wheels and spending the time trying to figure it out in a country where I'm not, you know, I'm 100% illiterate, you know, in the language. It's like, I just be creating my own suffering. And so why not ask for help? Because you can get to your goal that much faster and get on to the things that bring you joy. And that's really what it's all about. And that's the joy of freedom.
Yeah, that's right. Joy is joy.
Joy.
Yeah. So we talked about Exodus Summit. You know, talked about me being the speaker. Do you want to talk about, before we start to wrap, some of the other sessions that people can experience that kind of catch on to the theme of time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom?
Absolutely. Are there more speakers? I'm going to go first.
It's not just you. It's not just you. There are more speakers.
You know, it's me. That's all y'all need.
There's nothing else to talk about.
Because I want to do the easiest one. I want to go first because I want to tell you the easiest sessions. So, of course, I'm talking house sitting. House sitting has opened up talking about location freedom. House sitting has really opened up the world for me. So getting house sitting for free travel accommodation is one of the sessions. Roshida is going to is talking on how to talking about some financial mistakes that people make when they move abroad, some things that people don't necessarily know to factor for when you're moving abroad, some things that people do and or some things that people get surprised about when they're in their new country that you can plan for ahead of time, and you can get some, you can prepare for and at least know to expect them, even if it's, you know, something you can't fix or you can't change.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that session.
Girl, so am I. Who's doing that? What was that name she said?
You know her. You know her.
Give us some more, Stephanie.
We've got so then we've Jamila Souffrant, who is
Journey to Launch.
Thank you, friend. Jamila Souffrant. Her session is actually calculating your financial independence number. She's going to. She's wonderful. She's going to run us through some actual calculations. Susie Orman said you need $20 million. Okay. What is another way? What is another number? Let's calculate another number. Let's find what your actual number could be for financial independence or financial freedom. We've got Team Zekas, of course, coming back to talk about getting Black women paid. Team Zekas' specialty is getting the money you deserve at your job, right? Getting the money you deserve in the job you have, or applying for the job that will give you the money that you deserve. And then Libria Jones is coming in to talk about using AI in your remote work search. So the three of us on this screen are doing things one way. We are entrepreneurs who are making our money to live abroad one way. But entrepreneurship is hard, okay? It takes a lot of time. And so maybe the quickest path to your location independence, your location freedom, is a job that doesn't care where you are in the world. So Libria is coming in to do a session on using AI tools, which have really come on in the last year or so, using AI tools to aid you in your search for a remote job. How did I do, Roshida?
You did good. You did good. I'm going to get to the keynotes.
Okay.
We got keynote speakers, y'all. All right. We have Stephanie left this out. I love it when she lets me say this part because I get super excited about it. We have Octavia Rahim coming in to give us 2 rest sessions. If you have the all access pass, you get 2 rest sessions with her. If you have the weekend pass, you get 1. But on the 6th of October, at a time in the evening, we're going to have a rest session with Octavia Rahim. And I know this is not a comparison, but I know a lot of people are familiar with the NAP ministry and they're not as familiar with Octavia Rahim. But like Octavia Rahim speaks, and it's like I hear an angel flapping its wings. Like in the background, maybe a little trumpet playing too. Like it's just, she's that soothing, soft it's like lay your ass down, but with a whisper.
Yeah.
Like a really soft tone. So
if her session was a workshop and not a nap session, you would fall asleep anyway. So it is
Wow.
actually a guided, it's a guided session where you're going to work on your nap
mhm,
practice.
Wow.
But she's going to put you to sleep no matter what. Okay. She's going to put you out.
mhm. Yes. So that's the first night. The second night, we have. I'm gonna get 2 and 3 confused.
It's okay.
It's okay. You know what? Let me figure out what this is. What are we doing, Stephanie? Do you know what we're doing on the second night? I think. Oh
I
no,
think
here it
Dr.
is.
Joy.
Nope. You said that yesterday. It's not right.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I almost corrected you, and I was like, it's too late. It's too late. It don't matter. You're gonna be there. It don't
You'll be
matter. I'm gonna be there. We have Rachel Cargill coming in to talk about not just the importance of a sabbatical, of joy, of rest in the larger community, but also individually, what that means to us individually, and how focusing on yourself, right? Taking care of home
Mm-hmm.
can impact larger communities, right? They say put your oxygen mask on first, and Black women are like, but they need one.
Mm.
But what about, and Rachel Cargill's perspective isn't selfish, but it is about, self-care, right? About not taking on too much, about knowing when is the point where you're like, this isn't serving me. This isn't getting me what I need. I'm doing these things on behalf of other people, but what about me? So we're going to have a little what about me session with her, but I'm very, very excited about.
Yeah.
On Sunday night, that is October 8th, we will have Dr. Joy from Therapy for Black Girls, which haven't y'all been following her forever? I've been following her forever, right? So this is so exciting for us.
Yeah.
She's going to talk to us about sisterhood.
Yeah.
Because in this realm, you won't get by without sisterhood.
That's right.
Right? And these aren't like this isn't, I need 3 women to hold me down. It's, I need 300 women in community, right?
Mm-hmm.
All over the world. I need some close by. I need some far away, right? I need, it takes a village.
Yeah.
To do something so unexpected in your life, right? And so foreign to so many of us, it does take a village of support. And so we're going to talk about sisterhood and the role it plays in our lives and how we can get more of that, more of the good stuff for us. So love that. And then on Monday, the 9th, we're closing out our summit with Tabitha Brown. Tabitha Brown. Tabitha Brown. Tabitha Brown. Ow, 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 ow. Tabitha Brown. What? Tabitha. Okay, that's it. And we're super excited, obviously, for this.
We're very excited.
Because Tabitha has lived an unconventional life, right?
Yeah.
Like, who is she to be famous? Who is she to live her dreams? Well, she gonna show us, right? She's gonna show us, but each one of us can live our dreams. Right. She is. So she's coming to talk to us about doing something new, even in the face of non-believers.
That's right.
So very excited about this. Very excited that the way we structure Exodus Summit this year is the way we try to do it every year, where there are 18 sessions that are like action, like how to take the action. Now, you might not want to take all the actions we're talking about.
That's right.
But you're going to want to take at least 6, I would say, out of the 18. At least you're going to be like, okay, this is what I need to do. This is what I need to do, etc. Yeah. And then we have those 4 really like inspirational, digging deep into the seat of who you are talks, which are going to be some magic. We're sprinkling in some magic in there. So very excited. Yes, 18. I saw your face, Stephanie. 18 talks. And 3 keynotes and 1 press session. It's a lot. A lot. But we're very, very excited. Our speakers are magic. Are just like, the repeat speakers we have are speakers that people are like, but you gonna bring them back or? Yeah. Not? What y'all doing? Our new speakers like Krishan, it's like, the audience need, like, we need more people need to hear what Krishan has to offer. So we're very excited to give her a platform at the summit. And woo, child, that's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a wonderful weekend. It's a weekend where we have women come back over and over and over again. Even women who have already launched themselves out into this new life come back to Exodus Summit. So we're really excited to open this up and make sure that you, friends, are there as well. We hope that you're there too. This is a time when some things that you thought were impossible are going to become like to-do items and plans, right?
Yeah.
Some things that you thought, you had to just dream about and celebrate somebody else for doing. You will come away this weekend with your own steps, at least the first steps, right? To get that thing for yourself. This life that we talk about, this financial freedom, this location freedom, this time freedom, these are not things that we've earned because we're more deserving people. These are things that we have because we took some steps, right? That's it. We took some steps, and our speakers are coming in to give you some steps and give you some tools, leave you with some tools to do these things or something that fits you for yourself. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're super excited.
Yay! So we have our Black Utopia got our ticket. Hey. And Junquette said Exodus Summit is great to help you sustain out here. Yes, it is. This is my 4th time attending. So
oh wow. I didn't realize you were such an OG.
Yeah. Year 1.
All right now. Child, year 1, we had no idea what was in store.
Look what happened, right? Look what's happened in that time.
Exactly. Beauty is, you have to, in this journey, and I offer this to anyone who's watching live and in the replay, is yes, you can plan, you can figure out all the things that you want to do for your move in creating this life, but also give yourself space. Space for things to come in that you didn't even expect to happen, so that it can unfold in a way more beautiful than you could have imagined. And I think, when I think about Exodus Summit, that's one of those things. When you all started this journey, right, you had this one vision, and fast forward all these years, and now look how many lives you've impacted, look how many years, look at the names and the quality of the product, look at how your lives have changed. And so that, I think, is like, you could not have imagined it for yourself in 2020. And now see how the beauty by giving yourself the space and the freedom to do it.
Yeah. Awesome. I think my favorite thing about the summit is the women who keep coming back. I see Frances say it's going to be her 4th time. I'm the woman who come back I know Frances has taken at least a year sabbatical, maybe more, and she's still coming back to kick it with the homies, right? Right. And be a guiding light to women who are just thinking about it now. And so this is the exciting part for me. Like, we know y'all don't come to Exodus Summit for us, because y'all can talk to us any Saturday or Sunday, right? Y'all come to Exodus Summit for each other, and it's such a beautiful community. We love it.
Absolutely. I love it. And so with that, I'm going to thank you both for hanging out and sharing on this lovely topic that, like I said, freedom is the currency of choice. And I want to encourage everybody, get your ticket to Exodus Summit. If you are a Black woman, the link is there. Get your ticket. If you want, you could also buy an add-on to get last year's summit, right? Like, you can really get yourself prepped for what's about to go down in about 3 weeks. So do yourself a favor, invest in yourself, get your kombucha, your rosé, some snacks, get the kids, send them away, get a hotel room too, whatever the thing it is, get your bubbles ready, because your sisters are going to be together in community. They're going to pour into you, pour into one another, have your notepad, have whatever you need, because this is your weekend to blossom.
If you have kids, you don't that weekend. Unless they're old enough to do, unless they're old enough to bring you dinner and wine, you don't send them away. You got a partner? No, you don't. No, you don't. You ain't worried about nobody else. Take care. This is your oxygen mask first, yours.
Yes.
Send them away. Go leave them. They'll be all right.
They'll be fine. They will be fine.
Fine. And if they're not, isn't that something we need to talk about? Come, because we're actually going to talk a little bit about that. If you can't leave them because they won't be okay,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit about
we'll
that
unpack
too,
that too.
you not have enough time freedom. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If you can't leave your children with another responsible adult, you don't have enough time freedom in your life. And knowing they'll be okay when you get back, because you're doing all the work at home. I'm not judging you. I just want more for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want it a different way. And we're going to talk about that at the summit. Getting more freedom in the home. Getting more time freedom at home. I'm a little delirious, y'all. Stephanie has been working hard this morning.
We've had the longest. Oh, gosh. This is hard work. It's not, and we are people who we are not fans of hard work. Okay? Hard work is not our life's purpose. It's not our ministry.
No, we do not dream of labor.
So we do it, but seriously, we do it because every year we get to see the results. So you're doing an even better job, Krishan, than we are, because you get to see your success stories like in your face in Portugal, right? We get to see the success stories from Exodus Summit every year. We get to hear the testimonials. We get to see women making more money. We get to see women using their money in a way that they would not have used it before. We get to see women living or visiting or bopping around the world. In other countries, we get to see these things for ourselves, and so that's why we keep doing it. Even though at this point in the day, it's only 3:30 where I am and 2:30 where Roshida is, and already we're like, "Ooh, what a day!"
Look, it's 10:30 where I am, so I'm like, "Ooh,
girl, go to bed."
No, you're done.
Go to bed. Okay, but wait, can we invite your people to something else?
Huh?
Can we have?
Yeah.
Okay. In 30 minutes, right, Steph?
Is it 30 minutes? Okay.
I think so. Let me check the calendar.
Yeah, 4 o'clock my time is 30 minutes.
Oh, yes, you're right. Yes, you do. Yes, you can.
Okay.
I know what you're about to say.
I know. I knew you didn't, but I was like, I think she'll be okay.
No, I know what you're about to say. Yes.
In 30 minutes, we are going live on the Exodus Summit YouTube channel and within the Exodus Summit Facebook group to talk to Anna and Enriqueta, I think is how you pronounce her last name, about what it's like to retire earlier than expected and live your dream life around the world.
Yeah. Yes. I'm looking forward to that conversation.
Yes. So if you don't follow us if you don't know, we have an Exodus Summit Facebook channel. Nope. YouTube channel. We do. And I'd love it if you met us over there. We're going to talk to her about what life is like. Like if you're not sure this is the life for you, let's talk to Anna and see if anything she says pushes you one way or the other.
She's in the planning process, right? So she's visited some places, and she's only a few months out, but she's planning. She's in the planning process. She's also 61, and I thought she was younger than me, so I really need to. I got my notebook. Okay, I'm taking notes because I don't.
That's skin.
Okay. I saw that thumbnail, and I was like, 60 who?
I got my notebook ready.
I think she has children in their I think she has children in their late 20s, I think. And I think it's what she told me that. And I was like, I need to see some birth certificates. I think that's like this girl.
That made your kids.
Krishan, you too. Krishan, you be out here lying about your children. Don't do it. Stop it.
Okay, I know Krishan was talking about dropping her child off at college, but I wasn't computing. I was like, okay, she's got children. She's got young children. They're not young. I mean, no offense to y'all, the kids.
No, my son turned 23 on Sunday, and he does the theme song to the Blaxit Global podcast. And my daughter's turning 18 next Saturday. So yeah, the nest is empty. They're grown humans.
Yes.
Good job, Krishan.
Yes. Anyone who wants to see us over on the other channel will be there in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Anna, she's gonna give us some skincare tips because baby.
Bear with us if we have quite a few questions about skincare and diet. Okay.
Yes. Well, and Anna is a fluent Spanish speaker, so I think we're going to talk a lot about Spanish-speaking countries. I think, including Spain. I know she spent some time in Spain.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, I know our Black Utopia is still in Spain, and she said it's 11:30 her time. And we have some other Spanish speakers in the chat. So hopefully you all will pivot over to the Exodus Summit YouTube channel in about 27, 26 minutes to see more of these lovely ladies, as well as Anna. I'll be in the comments. And buy your ticket for Exodus Summit. Would love to see you Exodus Summit weekend. As you know, I'll be a speaker talking about scouting, but you will have a phenomenal list of speakers who are going to pour into you, so you will not be disappointed. Make that investment in yourself and in your future. Cool. All right, ladies. Bye for now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Krishan.